And it's 10 a.m. right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning, good evening. Wherever the world you're watching from, it's Business Morning live on Channels Television. I'm Ladi Williams. Today, we'll be talking commodities and we'll also drill down on the Konga Media Shopping Festival and much more. We'll also be looking at markets and see how Bitcoin and the Nigeria's capital market is doing today. But first off, let's take a look at what's in the news. The Federal Inland Revenue Service says it will commence the process of recovering unremitted tax deductions owed by some states and local governments. In a statement released, the chairman of the FIRS, Mr. Mohammed Mami, highlights that most states and local governments have failed to remit to the service withholding tax and value-added tax deductions from payments by them to contractors and service providers as required by law, while they're threatening to publicly name and shame the defaulting states and local governments. Mr. Nami mentioned that the FIRS will advise the federal government and the Ministry of Finance to reject their requests for external and domestic loans. And Nigeria has recorded another quarter of economic growth, raising its gross domestic product to 3.1% in the first quarter of 2022. But while services and the agricultural sectors experienced a 4% and 6.1% growth, the industry contracted by about 1.8%. Did the oil sector at 26.04%. According to Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, this may affect the impact of the 2022 first quarter growth on Nigerians, especially as inflation figures have started rising. She was speaking to State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. State House correspondent Kayla Magua reports.
At 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, with President Muhammadu Buhari away in Madrid, Spain on a state visit, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, holds the reins, chairing the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting with several ministers and top government officials in attendance, physically and virtually. The closed-door meeting lasts 3.5 hours, and the Minister of Finance begins the briefing, reporting a 3.1% first quarter growth in 2022 amid rising inflation and a contraction in key sectors of the economy.
There has been growth in some sectors. There are significant contraction in others, but the net effect is a positive growth. We're very mindful of the fact that unless we have most of the sectors growing, especially the growth in the jobs impacting sectors, that this growth that is positive will not be directly felt by the people.
Among the three memos submitted and approved for the Ministry of Petroleum Resources is the approval for the NNPC to sign a memorandum of understanding with ECOWAS for the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline. While the actual cost of this contract is not known yet, as it is still in the planning phase, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources is optimistic of the impact this pipeline will have on Africa and Europe.
This pipeline is to take gas to 15 West African countries and to Morocco, and through Morocco to Spain and Europe. Council also approved the construction of a switchgear room and installation of power distribution cables and equipment for the Nigeria Oil and Gas Park in Ogbeya, Bayelsa State in the sum of 3.8 billion naira.
Memos on contract variations for the power sector and the purchase of 82 operational vehicles, among other paraphernalia for the Ministry of Police Affairs, were also approved by Council. The total amount approved from memos at this week's Federal Executive Council meeting came to over 23 billion naira. A contraction in the growth in several crucial sectors of Nigeria's economy, compounded with rising inflation figures, may have cast a dark shadow on 6 consecutive quarters of economic growth, as highlighted by the Minister of Finance. However, the Federal Executive Council is promising to look at what is causing the contraction in these sectors and ensure that the country enjoys food security. From the State House in Abuja, Kayla Magua, Channels Television News.
And now to our first conversation. We're drilling down on the e-commerce sector. The low trust environment has been identified as a major limitation affecting electronic commerce. That's e-commerce, besides the conventional challenges such as low asset investment, poor standards and service quality and poor logistics. Well, to help us understand how they're navigating all of these headwinds, we have Anthony Wabuisi, Head of Marketing, Konga Group, join us right here on Business Morning. Great to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laddie.
Yeah, so the appetite for e-commerce, it is growing in Nigeria, but, I did identify some key issues,
Absolutely.
Exactly with the trust,
Yep.
Most especially. And I'm wondering how your brand, Konga, is managing all of these headwinds.
So Konga is a very ethical company. And these ethics are built around satisfying the customer's everyday needs. I'll just try to break that down with two of our key values that drive the Konga brand. The first value is that for us, the customer sits on the throne. It's not just us putting the customer first, as most brands would say. For us, the customer sits on the throne. So what that makes every Konganian is that we are meant to serve the customer's interests. So that's some of the things that's helping us deliver trust. The e-commerce business is built around quality of product and trust. It's an African cliche because it's a tough thing to get people to buy products that are not yet, they don't see.
Exactly.
So trust becomes a real issue. And another value for us in Konga that helps us deliver that is that we operate on an honesty and transparency platform. So that's our promise to the customer. So every single thing we do, the customer is at the core, is at the center of that. So I would not say all of this without, and then rule out, our fantastic board and management that we have that have ensured and drilled these values down to everybody in Konga. Powered by our CEO, our co-CEOs, Nick Emudia, and of course, Prince Nnamdi Eke, who have carried on the vision of the board, and of our chairman in ensuring that we've put the customer at the focus of everything that we do. We've also invested in infrastructure in both CAPEX and OPEX in ensuring that everything that we do is centered and wired around delivering that real value to the customer that ensures the customer trusts us as a brand to associate with. And some of those investments you can see around the way we set up, our Konga physical stores. We want to be closer to the people such that they can go to these points as point of collection points to pick up their products. They look at it, they verify, they see that it's top quality based on what they've ordered, and then we also invest in our logistics system to ensure that we deliver fast to our customers. So that is one of the ways in which we've been able to ensure that the customer sits on the throne in everything that we do.
How do you handle quality control? Because most time you see some of these merchants, selling some products. They say can do this and that, but you get it and you're not satisfied. How do you navigate that?
One of the ways we've been able to do that is that we have a system, like a weekly, almost like a bi-weekly, engagement with our third-party merchants. Yeah, and because, in fact, about almost 100% of each of the very rare cases that we've had so far from our customers actually do come from our third parties. So these engagements help us to put them in check because from time to time, our fantastic team that manages our merchants ensures that they review the product placements, they ensure that they confirm. And for some of these merchants, we actually do fulfill for them. And so, we do warehouse and also fulfill for them, right? And so what that does for us is that it helps us to ensure that what these merchants are actually shipping out to our various customers scattered across the country is top quality. And then we also have some of our, penalties that are put in place, of course, to ensure that they don't falter each of the agreements that we have with them to damage and tarnish the Konga brand. So yeah, with these in place and with the necessary checks that we do and trainings and engagement, we've been able to reduce that to a very reasonable level.
Quite interesting. And there's also this buzz about the Konga Media Shopping Festival. Tell us about this festival. Quite interesting.
For us, it's the essence of the festival is basically to get our customers to save money this June. It's just broadly to get them to save money this June. And, this is our maiden edition. This is our, we like to call it Konga Media Shopping Festival 1.0 because this is going to become an annual event for us. So we want our customers to save money, and we have fantastic, amazing, deals cut across various, categories for this. And this preludes, another big event that will be happening for Konga in December, which is a Ninja Shopping Festival. So yes, so that's exactly what it's about, is to get our customers to save money, because times are really hard. And that's why we are saying, you know what, we are going to be 10 this month. Konga is going to be 10 this month. So why don't we, celebrate the customer and put out an event, a festival for them that helps them to save across various categories?
Quite interesting. And what kind of feedback have you been getting? Like, what was the turnout expectation like?
Incredible. We kicked this campaign off yesterday. The traffic has been immense. We have fantastic, of course, deals that are pulling them through in terms of our treasure hunt, our flash sales. The numbers are quite good. And the talkability, the word of mouth have been really positive on Twitter. So we believe that this is a success so far, and by the end of June, it's going to be successful, because it is not for us at Konga. We're not really focused on ourselves, because our big month, ideally, we should be 10 this month. But we want the customer to be, to take the shine, to be the real focus for us, to help them to save.
And how can, merchants and customers actually take advantage of this festival? Is it just, going on the website and, searching for products? How does it work?
Yeah, so our merchants are, are on board the program. We've sort of have brought some of them on board. We have fantastic OEMs that are supporting us. Asus, Lenovo, HP, Intel. These are some of our Zynox. These are some of our key, OEMs that are supporting and are part of this campaign. So for our merchants as well, we have a couple of them that are also pushing out their products, so their products are easily found. They have their store points. Yeah, so it's almost been, like a win-win for both Konga, the merchant, and for the consumer. So yeah, they pretty much are engaged, and I also brought on board the campaign as well.
It's quite interesting, having this kind of festival. What can shoppers actually look forward to with this?
Amazing stuff. So we have price crashes. We have huge discounts. I was just talking about our treasure hunt. So we imagine, you picking up a phone off the Konga platform for 19,000 naira, a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, that is sold for 753 on our platform. You can actually buy at 19,000. So that's just huge. And this will cut across, different categories, from FMCG to electronics to mobile to computing, to wines and spirits. It's just amazing the type of deal that we've put together. And so the shoppers are, without doubt. But most importantly, we also have massive offerings across our various business, verticals. So for Konga Pay is actually doing a promo. So for every 10 bills payments you do on the Konga Pay platform, on our platform, you actually will get a 10% cashback, right? And that's just one. And for every, we're giving 100,000 to about 10 lucky customers on the Konga Pay platform. So if you carry out a 10,000 and above transaction on the Konga Pay platform, you already stand a chance to qualify for 100,000 that you can use to do whatever that you want. It doesn't end there. For Konga Travels, we have amazing flight deals at the lowest prices you can ever think of, especially this summer. And they will run from the 1st of June to the 30th of August on Konga Travels. So I just would, beckon on our customers to hurry now and take, advantage of some of these deals, especially to Dubai. Yeah, we have amazing deals around hotels for 5 nights. We have tours, we have breakfast. For as low as $640, right?
Quite a competitive
incredible
price.
Deals. It doesn't stop there, right? We have our bulk deals. Our bulk deals are targeted at resellers and other small businesses. So these deals help them to, at this point, they help them to buy at amazing discount. Our corporate deals for businesses like channels as well. So we have amazing discounts for, corporates, for corporate businesses. We also have, packages that just sort of cuts across, different touch points. And so we beckon on the public and, our general customers to just take advantage of what we have on show this June.
Quite interesting. And I am quite interested in that hunt.
Yeah.
So, you go on the website, and how do you hunt for these, special offers? Is it that you just have to search different categories? What's the deal here, really, to catch?
So I think you have your eyes on that one, and that's
treasure.
That's quite good. So we normally do give a hint, and you can actually hunt for this both on our mobile app. So it's not just only on the web platform, and also on the web, right? So there's a hint that we give. So it's in the grocery section. So for all of you that's watching me this moment, so just go to the grocery section, and you might just be lucky to find, that amazing product that we've put on show today.
That means something that's maybe like a 700,000. I could get it for 15,000.
No, for 19,000 naira.
Or 19,000, depending
for 753.
That's quite.
Imagine about 80 to 85%.
That's an incredible treasure right there. But are there any other special, incentives for shoppers?
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked about the price crashes. I've talked about the treasure hunt. I've also talked about some of the deals. So we have products of the week. Various other products that we have for the week. Customers can take advantage of these. So Asus, Lenovo, Zynox products are on show for purchase. We also are looking at having some other key customers go on. So beyond the flash sales, right, and the discount, there are various other deals that customers can enjoy.
So you just go on the platform and you can see all of that.
Amazing
right
deals.
But how is this different from the annual Konga Yakata?
Oh, so the Konga Yakata is our Black Friday, which used to run from mid-November to mid-December. So now the new date will run from the 1st of November to the 30th of November. So the Konga Yakata is our Black Friday. Amazing deal. So this is just as big as the Konga Yakata, right? So it's filled with massive deals. So there's no difference. We just looked at the mid-year and said we need to sort of reward our customers, and we designed this product to help our customers save money this season.
Right, and also can I have more insight on the Niger Shopping Festival and the likely dates for that?
Absolutely. So the Niger Shopping Festival will hold in December, and it's going to be, in fact, just as big as the Konga Media Shopping Festival that we're doing this June. But the slight twist to that will be that we'll have physical presence. It's going to be like a physical bazaar sales. So beyond having our customers go to our platforms to shop and enjoy great deals, we'll also have physical, centers where they can actually come. And we will take this from state to state, city to city, to wow our customers. So that's the twist that we're going to be bringing with the Niger Shopping Festival.
So from any part of the country, you can actually...
Absolutely. So beyond shopping online, we will also bring the festival to your doorstep at different cities in December.
Quite interesting. What do you have for most of these merchants right now? What's your your parting advice to most of these merchants and also the customers?
Absolutely. So I would just ask our customers, both existing and new customers, to hurry down to download our app across the board. So from Konga shopping apps on iOS and Play Store to enjoy these amazing deals, especially beautiful deals packed in our mobile apps, and also go to our physical Konga stores as well, because the deals don't just start and stop on the online. We also have these deals available when you walk into any of our physical stores, right, to enjoy this. So now just beckon, and not just only the Konga app, also our Konga Pay app. Our Konga food, most especially, we launched our Konga food on the 23rd of last month, and the turnout has been really amazing and overwhelming. I also want to encourage our customers to also download our Konga food app. When they do that, they enjoy 14 days of free delivery, and of course, our partner Bottle of Coke will come with every order. And I also would like that you as well,
of course,
take advantage of this opportunity to download the app and enjoy.
Because right after this, I'm going to go treasure hunting, and
absolutely,
to make sure I position myself for all the treasures on that website. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Anthony
very much.
Wabuisi, Head of Marketing, Konga Group. Thank you for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure for having me.
All right, so we'll take a moment now. When we come back, Commodities Market Update is next. Do stay with us. This is Business Morning. Welcome back now for the Commodities Market Update. We see oil prices fell this morning in Asia trading hours. International benchmark Brent crude futures were last down about 2.12% at $113.82 per barrel, while the U.S. crude futures dropped 2.18% to $112.75 per barrel. Well, we have Dumabi join us right here to tell us what's happening in that commodity space. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so another day, another
oil market
analysis, and this time it's tending downward.
Yes.
Yeah, what's happening today?
So what's happening is that from the look of things, OPEC might, increase oil supply to the market. Saudi Arabia has hinted that, it might ramp up oil production, and this would, this is, causing oil prices to decline. And this decision is coming after the EU banned they're saying that by the end of the year, 90% of Russian oil imports will be banned from Europe. As at today, based on their decision, the immediate impact is going to knock off about 75% of Russian imports, but by the end of the year, it will be 90%. So, and they're saying that shipments coming by sea are completely banned. So what's only moving right now at oil, is oil coming through the pipelines. And today, Thursday, OPEC is having a meeting, and the markets are looking at the fact that, first of all, they're going to start with their 432,000 barrels per day supply increase to somewhat mitigate the impact of the Russian ban of EU banning Russian oil imports. So a reduction in oil supply from Russia. OPEC is trying to mitigate the impact of that on the market and for other oil importing countries. Then Saudi Arabia as well, the de facto leader of the cartel, is saying that they'll probably have to step in to ensure that there's ample supply in the market. And some countries on the Persian Gulf as well are pretty much excited. They want to ramp up supply. So that's exactly what's happening and causing oil prices to decline today.
Pretty interesting what's happening with Russia. But I'm wondering, are they still have other buyers, other friendly nations, that are buying from them?
Yes.
But they're still buying, they're getting cheaper oil. For example, I know India, are getting cheaper oil from Russia at this point. And, I ask myself, are they still making as much profit as they should, selling cheaper to the friendly nations at this point?
Well, Russia, like Saudi Arabia, has a very low production cost when it comes to oil. So their break-even margins are really low. I mean, we're looking at as low as $20, $25 per barrel, $40 per barrel. And oil prices are about $100 per barrel. So regardless of whether normally every company, or in this case a country that is exporting or selling, would love to leverage on volume. But in a situation where you're not able to leverage on volume, if prices are higher for you and your cost of production is low, you still would make some level of profit margin. So I think that what's happening with Russia, clearly, on the demand side, it's a huge blow to to European countries, because Russia supplies about 80% of their energy, both oil and natural gas. So if anything, they would have to quickly, make sure that they have supply from other countries that would immediately mitigate the shock, the supply shock that they're going to experience, because already they're having high inflation due to higher energy prices, higher food prices, and all of this is stemming from the sanctions that they have placed on the importation of of Russian energy products. For Russia themselves, yes, it's a problem when you're not able to make as as much money as you can. But when you look at the fact that they do not need oil prices at $100 per barrel to actually make a lot of profit, and the cost of production is low. So with what is happening in the markets today, if Russia is selling to India, selling to China, they still would make some substantial amount of money.
It's quite an interesting, place for, the countries looking to sanction,
yes.
Russia, because if you want to buy from Russia, you're funding the war.
Yes.
And if you sanction them, you're also stoking inflation, global inflation, and all of that. So it's quite an interesting trade-off. A difficult one, I must say. But let's look at the Nigeria's crude oil production. I see it rose by about 70,000 barrels per day. But what's stoking that?
Yeah, so basically we saw that according to Reuters, Nigeria's oil production has increased. Nigeria's oil production for May increased. On Tuesday we spoke about Nigeria's oil production falling in April, and then today we're talking about Nigeria's oil production increasing by 70,000 barrels per day in May. So I think that what's happening here is that obviously the country is trying to see how best they can mitigate the shocks from the factors that are affecting our oil supply. I think already on Tuesday, we mentioned that the Forcados terminal would be increasing. So there'll be an increase in supply from the Forcados terminal for a time being, and that's good news. So if we're already seeing this, that's good news. Although this is still lower than our oil production quota of 1.77 and our oil production benchmark of 1.6. I mean, it's still good news for the Nigerian economy in that if we're able to produce more, we can sell more, and we can get more forex to stabilize the naira, to embark on other infrastructural projects within the country, and also we could also see the ripple effect in the FACT disbursements for the coming months.
So maybe we might see this trend continue.
Yes, I mean, since we already established that the production from a major terminal for the country would be increasing, and we're beginning to see an uptick in our production numbers, the expectation is that this would continue. Maybe not to the highest of highest levels, to probably hit 1.7 or 1.6, but if we see this move from 1.2 to 1.5 to 1.4,
a steady, gradual increase.
Yes, a gradual increase. It's still a good thing for the Nigerian economy because we're able to make more and we're able to take some level of advantage from higher oil prices.
Right, and we see that shortfall in sub-Saharan Africa refining capacity. They've said that is actually what's stoking, inflation more. And I'm wondering, how can this be actually reversed? We know how Africa is heavily reliant on importation. But how do we get to the point where Sub-Saharan Africa is actually refining more?
I mean, when I saw that, the first thing that came to my mind was opportunity. If anything, this just like when the pandemic happened, and it just exposed the opportunity of the fact that Nigerian economy and even other countries in Africa need to deepen their revenue base to ensure that they're able to mitigate against such shocks that come abruptly. So this is yet another opportunity. The Russian-Ukraine war has yet presented another opportunity for sub-Saharan African countries to go back to the drawing board and improve our refining capacity. So the big question is, what exactly is making us not refine as much? What exactly is making, and when you go down the line, when you check the numbers, when you check what is happening in various countries, you realize that the infrastructural facilities to actually refine these products are very suboptimal. And even if they are in existence, they're pretty much idle. A very good example is our very own country. We have the capacity to refine crude oil, to refine natural gas, but yet when these refineries are still idle, we're not doing as much. Although there's rehabilitation, going on, and we can't wait for that to actually happen. But eventually, it just clearly means that if we don't sit to get our house in order, not just Nigeria now, but other, oil exporting countries within the sub-Saharan African region would continue to be very vulnerable and exposed to external imbalances and external shocks from the global economy. Because these countries that we import from, they at some point had to, be futuristic. They had to be proactive. Take China, for example. They did see things like this coming. Maybe not a full-blown pandemic, maybe not a war that would cripple their economy, but they did see that eventually, if we do not, if we do not sit to get our economy tight, we'll always be dependent on other countries. And so, how do we get things right? I'm not proposing that we close our economy. We've tried the border closure; it didn't work. So, but what we can do is ensure that the investments into these refineries are actually being monitored. They're actually being implemented. These refineries get to work at the time that we say they're going to get to work. Because what happens is that the information that is passed across, because for projects like this, there's no information asymmetry. The government comes out to say, oh, we're going to get the refinery up and running by the end of Q2 2025. Investors are beginning to make plans where they want to see, okay, how is the government? Okay, where can I come in? What can I do? Businesses are going to start making decisions based on that. So when there's a pullback on such a reform, it makes investors jittery. It makes the business. It makes the economy quite hostile for businesses to make decisions, and there's a ripple effect from just one singular decision not pulling through to how it eventually affect the government revenue, affect the general economy. So I think that it just presents a huge opportunity for oil exporting countries within the sub-Saharan African region, especially Nigeria, because Nigeria wears the crown of one of the as the top oil producing country in sub-Saharan Africa. So if anything, this is more tilted to our end than other countries. So I think if we're able to really go back to the drawing board, it will be good. And another thing is that it also brings to mind the Dangote refinery that is going to come out. So clearly there's a gap that refinery is going to fill. Right. And the question now is that because as much as Dangote is going to supply the Nigerian economy, there's clearly a huge market for that product in sub-Saharan Africa. And so clearly, maybe not competition, but I mean, this is business. Right. So he will satisfy the Nigerian economy at probably a favorable price.
I'm wondering how all of that would translate into, pump price.
So the expectation normally in the long term is that if Dangote is able to get enough, oil to refine from the NNPC, from Nigerian government, because there's going to be a chain, definitely. He's not going to drill oil from the ground. But so if he gets oil at a favorable price and is able to refine oil at that favorable price that doesn't eat too much into his cost, into his profit, we could see, the pump price of petrol at a relatively reasonable price in the Nigerian economy. And then, he's also going to sell to other countries. But where this gets very tricky is that here, refined petroleum products are subsidized, because the plan already was that it was going to be fuel subsidies were going to be removed. We're going to start seeing the markets, correct itself when it comes to demand and supply for PMS. And so eventually, when the Dangote refinery comes up, when he sells petrol when petrol is now available from Dangote refinery, we would see that market, continue to adapt. The market will continue to adapt, and prices are more cost reflective. So all marketers, there's more competition, healthy competition within the market. But in a situation where now fuel subsidies are still there, the Dangote refinery would soon, operations will soon kick off. If fuel subsidies linger till then, it simply means that with the cost that he's going to be incurring to produce and to refine these petroleum products and then sell to the Nigerian economy, if they decide to subsidize, it simply means that other African markets will be more favorable to Dangote, because prices here are not as reflective of his costs compared to other sub-Saharan African countries. Nigeria today, compared to countries like Ghana, South Africa, and even Kenya, our cost of PMS is extremely low. And that's why we hear the issues of smuggling. So petroleum is taken out of the country. petrol take out of the country to be sold in other countries where, they can make a lot more profit.
We still have a lot to look out for.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it eventually plays out.
Well, we'll keep tracking and watching all of that. Thank you so much, Dumebio, coming on the program. Always good to get your insight. All right, we'll take a moment now. All right, now time to take a look at what's happening in the markets. We have Will there standing by with all of the details. Hello, Will.
Hi, Ladi. Good morning.
Morning.
We are going to go straight to the fixed income market and see how that went down yesterday. Now, the fixed income, the bonds segment, we saw the fixed income market, the bonds in that space continue to trade on a mixed note with bulls pulling more weight in the market. We saw demand for securities securities that are due to be liquidated, created from the FAC inflow. Now, average yield dropped by 11.2% from 11.24%. We saw demand for the 2025 papers and 2034 papers in the bond space there. Not a lot going on, but, a bit more deals, yields going down lower now. We're just wondering what's happening because of now the liquidity is no longer tight, and also, yields have to go down. Now, at the Treasury bill space, we saw not a lot going on there. It was relatively quiet with little or no activities across board. Only some bullish undertones observed across the NTB and the OMO segments. The trend persisted for most of the trading session yesterday as market participants were exposed to bids across the mid to the long end of the curve. Now, with only a handful of trades were consummated yesterday by the close of the bell. Now, consequently, we saw closing rates remaining unchanged from the opening level. Today, we expect buying interest to continue as market players focus, possibly on the OMO auction that's going to take place today amid, the elevated system liquidity that we have now. Now, given OMO maturity of 65 billion naira earlier this week, we've noticed activities in the CBN special bills, but rates remain mostly unchanged as well. Analysts still expect some activities in the market as a result of the FAC inflow, and that is really what is being hinged upon right now. We expect to see interest on short-term bonds as well and treasury bills due to unfavorable upward trend in yields. Now we're going to go quickly to the equities market where bearish sentiment still persists, and the all-share index dropped yesterday 0.03%, opening the month of June on a negative note. Now we're seeing the all-share index at 52,974.15 points, equity cap at 28,558 there. We're hoping that analysts will give us some perspective as to why we're still seeing, a mixed trend in the equities market.
I don't know why I expected, this cycle, but we'll get more details.
It's more like what are investors thinking right now? We'll get to know. Maybe our analysts will give us...
It's a cycle. We'll get more about that, after this break. Sit tight. We'll come back to the markets just in a moment. All right, welcome back. We're still on the markets, and Will is right there with the details. So, Will, hope it's not a sell in June and go away scenario this time.
I'm hoping so, but it's looking more like it right now, especially with the Komu really dropping at the moment. Right now, we see corn oil dropping, we're seeing FBN holding. So the big names are just dropping, and we don't know if investors are getting sick of these names at the moment and trying to see how they can, bring their stocks down, the stock prices down and get, good bargain for them. Maybe Ladi is waiting to jump on that as well. So total volume of trades declined by 7.2% yesterday to 295.35 million units, and it was valued at 3.59 billion naira, all in 4,637 deals. Consider it was a sea of red for the activity chart yesterday. Transcore was the most traded stock by volume yesterday. It had a total number of units traded was 121.84 million units of shares traded, while Airtel Africa, surprisingly, was the most traded stock by value at 573.23 million. Now, performance across sectors was broadly negative. We saw only consumer goods index was in the green yesterday at 0.09%, up yesterday. Banking was down 0.3%. Insurance, oil and gas, oil in the red. Industrial goods remained unchanged yesterday. There was no movement in that share price at the close of the bell. But we have Onose Asotie Enaholo, investment research analyst at Main Street Capital. Good morning, Onose.
Good morning, Will.
Anasa, sentiment reports are showing that the all share index had a 24% buy yesterday and sell-off of 76. Money flow index stood at 33.0 points down. What is happening at the equities market?
Well, right now, investors are selling, obviously. I think last week, the NPR, the MPC raised, NPR raised from 11.5% to about 13%. Basically, investors have kind of been standing on the sidelines in the bond market since the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, we see that activities in the bond market haven't been, as much as even maybe last year or previous years because of, low rates. And now with the NPR, the MPC increasing the NPR rates, investors are looking forward to higher bond rates. Maybe not now, but maybe in the next primary auctions. So what we see now is, okay, so bond rates are going up. It means inflation is going up. And if inflation is going up, then risky assets like stocks become even riskier. And now basically what we see is investors taking on a risk-off approach, in their portfolios, and then they're selling off stocks. Now, earlier you mentioned, Omo oil had dropped, even Presco had dropped. If you look, those are stocks that contain even a bit more risk, have a riskier profile compared to even other seemingly more stable stocks like Airtel. Like if you see Airtel, even with the current sell-offs, Airtel is still in the green. Airtel is still in the positive. Stocks like Airtel, stocks like UCAP, that have, basically a very stable, financial performance, while, they may have, experienced some sell-offs. It's not as, as high in magnitude as, riskier assets. So what we see right now is just investors de-risking and taking off a risk-off approach, in their portfolios.
I would think rather they should take on a risk-on mode right now because, Indonesia stopped the importation or export of their palm oil. So I think more investors should be, looking inwards and saying how to invest in our local industries such as Presco and Okomo. I wonder why they are, taking that risk-off mode, but that's good. But also in the news, we saw that the Nigerian Communications Commission, that's the NCC, has granted ISP approval for Elon Musk's Starlink. How significant is this for the telecoms market and for the equities market as well?
Well, it's significant, but it also depends on how much market share that Starlink is able to get or take from MTN and Airtel. Now current documents say that it costs about $599 for installation and about $99, per month, for internet access. That's a bit higher than what the average Nigerian can afford. So if they stick with that particular price range, they will be excluded from a significant chunk of the market that MTN, and Airtel, have and still control. And so if that happens, then we might not see so much of, an effect to MTN and Airtel stock. Now, word on the street is also that the federal government expects that Elon Musk's company Starlink will form like a Nigerian, a Nigerian corporation that will be traded on the market. If that happens, yes, we will definitely see, interest in that stock. But unless they can really tap into the low, middle class and the low income earners that MTN and Airtel has, then we might not see so much of an effect on MTN and Airtel stock price. Also, one thing is MTN and Airtel, they are not only just telecoms. Yes, they're telecom companies, but they also have payment service banking licenses. And that in itself, has made them very attractive to investors this year. So unless, Starlink tends to get a payment service banking license themselves and MTN and Airtel a run for their money in that regard, I think MTN and Airtel in the long run will be fine. Their stock performance will be fine.
Thank you so much. Now, what are the opening calls in the market at the moment? What are we seeing, Anase?
Right now, it's still a bearish market. Like we've seen, but there seems to be a lot of orders for significant orders for Zenith Bank, for Nestle, for MTN. and we see some for Boa Foods and Cadbury. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that these are stocks that people want to buy. A good chunk of them are sell orders, and we are not brokers, so we can't tell you exactly what people are buying or selling. We can only just make inferences based on past performance and what is currently going on in the markets. But I would advise people be careful if you do intend to buy.
Okay, and I say thank you so much. And I say Asotie Naholo, investment research analyst at Main Street Capital. Thank you for joining us. So, Ladi, you've heard it all from the horse's mouth.
Right.
We're waiting to see. Still bearish, but we hope, that magic that happens at the last minute.
Maybe some bargain hunting today. Let's see if that... but talking about bearish, we see Bitcoin is looking quite bearish this morning. But thank you, Will, for that analysis. Let's look at other markets now. We see the price of Bitcoin started another decline from the 32,400 resistance zone, a steady decline below the 32,000 mark and the 31,500. And we see Bitcoin now trading below that 30K level. Market cap, $1.23 trillion, is down about 5.35%. Volume traded $95.09 billion in the total crypto space. And we see Bitcoin dominance there at 46%, still inching up. And price of Bitcoin, $29,871. That's down about 5.45%. So we're seeing a couple of reds in the market, at this point, heavy selling pressure with Bitcoin and most of the altcoins on the market. Let's bring in Bjorn Martens now. Hello, Bjorn. Great to have you in the program.
Good morning, Ladi. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm doing great. And I see optimism is trending right now, and not the word optimism, but a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. They set up some kind of airdrop and distributed OP tokens. And we're seeing the price actually drop. Tell us about this airdrop. Why is it getting the market all rattled this morning?
Yeah, Optimism has been released currently, not a long time ago yet. And a lot of people have been using the application. You can bridge with it. You can use it for all sorts of solutions you need in between different blockchains, basically. People have been using this, been staking, been farming with it, for example. And one of my colleagues has used it as well, and they got an airdrop of more than 7,000 of these tokens. And with the market trading current more than $1 per piece, people have been getting a lot of free money from just using a product. And I find it very interesting to see in a market like this, it's very red, where these opportunities still occur. And this is something that really only cryptocurrency can bring.
Right, quite interesting. And, talking about these airdrops, we see most of these tokens, they come up with these airdrops. You do a couple of activities for them, and they now send you the airdrop. But at the end of the day, it seems it's the people that actually bring attention to these tokens because of the airdrop.
Correct as well. There are different kinds of airdrops as well, I have to say. It's use of products, so where you have indeed monetized interest in the product, where the people, where you have proven to the project that you have used the platform as well. They have been earning probably from small fees as well in the meantime. And then there are airdrops where basically I call them giveaway zombies, and people are just basically going for the airdrop, coming in your community, do the test, but will never really have interest in buying your token.
Right, so you just go in there, get the airdrop, and you don't really want to use the service. I think one of these other platforms, if it was PancakeSwap or the other one, Uniswap, they also use the same.
Correct.
But how do you, check the good projects, from those ones that are just there for, trying to get all that marketing out?
It's definitely when a project has a product. It's very important for a project to have a product, a real utility. So, and by using it yourself, you can understand how good is the interface, how good is the user experience, how much get it really used by people. And by just experiencing the market itself, like really engaging with products of tokens, this will let you know if something is really valuable and handy for in the market.
Right, and I would see Bitcoin there has lost that 30K level. What are you seeing for Bitcoin price movement?
As I've said before, I really think we're going to reach the 22K area. We have lately had the crash went to the bottom of 24.5K on Binance. I expect we're going to see another flash crash in the near future. But from there on, it should be reaching the bottom really. A lot of consolidation time will be coming on as well. So a lot of boring market will be coming. This year won't be very spectacular, I think, for Bitcoin. And it will be a lot of accumulation of possibilities for people.
Right, Bjorn. Everyone's searching for the bottom for the price of Bitcoin at this point. Thank you so much, Bjorn Martins. Always great to talk to you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Ladi. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. All right, now let's look at the top alts by market cap. We see it's mostly red on that counter. That's BNB there, down about 4.98%. Cardano lost about 6.43%. And we see it's all red with XRP losing that 40 cents mark. And so it's looking like it's going to be a red weekend in the crypto space. All right, that's it for the markets. And that's a wrap on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join us at 1:30 p.m. Business Incorporated for more updates and developments in the world of business. I'm Ladi Williams. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.